In October of last year, a man was escorted out of his office building by security. 15 years of climbing the corporate ladder ended in 11 minutes. The termination letter cited a pattern of harassment, manipulation, and predatory behavior toward a subordinate. But here's what makes this case fascinating. The evidence used against him. It wasn't gathered by investigators. It wasn't compiled by the victim's attorney. It was posted by him on Reddit. Over the course of 8 months. 47 posts. Hundreds of comments. A complete psychological confession, written by a man who believed, with absolute certainty, that he was the hero of this story. Today, we're going to read his words. Exactly as he wrote them. And you're going to watch a man reveal himself, post by post, as the monster he swore he was protecting her from. This is not a story about a bad boss. This is a psychological autopsy. Let's begin. The first post appeared on a Tuesday evening. A throwaway account. A simple question. And the beginning of everything.
Okay, I need some perspective here because I'm honestly losing sleep over this. I'm a department manager at a mid-sized company. Been here 12 years. I've mentored dozens of people, helped them get promotions, wrote recommendations. I'm not some power-tripping jerk. I actually care about my team. 6 months ago, we hired Jennifer. She's 26, sharp as hell, probably the best hire I've made in years. Caught on faster than people with twice her experience. I saw something in her during the interview. This spark, you know? She reminded me of myself when I was starting out. I made it a point to take her under my wing. Weekly one-on-ones. Career development chats. I grab her coffee sometimes when I did my afternoon run. Nothing weird. I do it for everyone. Well, not everyone. But she works the hardest. So, here's where it gets complicated. About 2 months in, I started noticing things. She'd come in some mornings looking tired. Not regular tired. The kind of tired where you can tell someone didn't sleep because of stress. Then I noticed she was checking her phone constantly. Always texting. Always looking nervous about it. So one day I casually asked if everything was okay at home. She smiled and said, "Yeah, totally fine." But the smile didn't reach her eyes. I know that smile. I've been in HR training for 15 years. I know the signs. Then I met the boyfriend. He came to pick her up one Friday, and I happened to be walking to my car at the same time. Introduced myself. Firm handshake. Too firm, actually. The kind of grip that's trying to prove something. He barely looked at me. Just this quick up and down, like he was sizing me up. Jennifer was different around him. Quieter. Smaller almost. Like she was shrinking. I didn't like him. Something was off. So I started paying more attention. Not in a weird way. Just, keeping an eye out. Because that's what good managers do. That's what good people do when someone might be in trouble. AITA for being concerned.
The responses were measured, cautious. Most people gave him the benefit of the doubt. But I want you to go back and read that post again. Not for what he says, for what he reveals without realizing it. I saw something in her during the interview, this spark. She reminded me of myself. I grab her coffee. Not for everyone. But she works the hardest. I started paying more attention. This is not the language of a concerned mentor. This is the vocabulary of fixation. He is already separating her from the group. Already justifying special treatment. Already framing himself as the only one who truly sees her. And that boyfriend? The one with the too firm handshake, who barely looked at him? He wasn't sizing up a threat. He was looking at a man staring at his girlfriend. But our subject doesn't see it that way. He can't. Because the story he's telling himself requires a villain. And it's certainly not going to be him.
So, I posted here a while back about Jennifer. And I've been debating whether to update, because honestly, it's gotten worse. I've been keeping notes. Dates, times, observations. I know that sounds intense, but I needed a document in case this ever becomes an HR situation. Protecting the company. Protecting her. A few weeks ago, I noticed she deleted Instagram. Just gone. I only knew because I check in sometimes to make sure she was okay. Not like stalking, just a quick scroll when I was bored. Making sure she seemed happy. But she deleted it. And you know who makes their girlfriend delete social media? Controlling, insecure men. Red flag city. So I adjusted her schedule. Look, before you come at me, I did it for a good reason. I moved her to earlier shifts, so she'd get off work at 4 instead of 6. That way she has time to decompress before he picks her up. Time to breathe. Time where she's not under his surveillance. I also started assigning her to projects with Marcus from accounting instead of Derek. Derek's nice, but he's 28 and good looking, and I didn't want to give the boyfriend any ammunition. You know how jealous guys can twist things. Jennifer asked about the schedule change. I told her it was a department restructure. She seemed confused, but didn't push back. She trusts me. I'm the only one at work who actually cares about what happens to her. Everyone else just sees an employee. I see a person drowning and nobody throwing her a rope. Some of you in the comments last time told me to back off, that I was overstepping. But what if I'm the only one who's paying attention? What if I back off and something happens? I can never live with that. Okay, wow. I didn't expect this reaction. You guys don't get it. I'm not interested in her like that. I'm 43. She's 26. I have a wife. I have kids. I'm not some creep. I'm trying to help. There's a difference between caring about someone's well-being and whatever you're implying. And yeah, I looked at her Instagram. So what? It's public. It was public. Everyone does that. You know what? Forget it. I came here for advice, and all I'm getting is people projecting their own issues onto me. You don't know her. You don't know the situation. I do. I'm done explaining myself to strangers on the internet.
He's done explaining himself. Until the next post. And the one after that. What you just witnessed is a textbook example of what psychologists call narcissistic injury. When someone challenges a narcissist's self-image, they don't reflect. They attack. The commenters aren't projecting. They're seeing. Clearly. Correctly. But he can't process that. Because if they're right, if he's the problem, then the entire narrative collapses. The mentor becomes the stalker. The protector becomes the predator. So instead, the commenters become the enemy. They don't get it. They don't know her like he does. This is the moment, right here, where a healthy person would pause. Reevaluate. Seek help. He doesn't pause. He escalates. Over the next 90 days, he posted 14 more times. I found out Jennifer's boyfriend yelled at her in public. Jennifer didn't say good morning to me today. I think he's isolating her. Should I tell Jennifer I know about her boyfriend's arrest record? Which, by the way, was a traffic violation from 2015. I drove by Jennifer's apartment to make sure she was safe. Ida. The comment sections became a graveyard of warnings he refused to hear. This is stalking. You need professional help. Leave this poor woman alone. He responded to every single one. Always defensive. Always the victim. And still, through all of this, he never once considered that Jennifer might be afraid of him.
Jennifer quit. No notice. No warning. Just an email Monday morning, saying she'd accepted a position elsewhere, and today was her last day. I found out the same time as everyone else. Like I was nobody. I spent 6 months mentoring this girl. I went to bat for her in promotion meetings. I protected her from herself, from that boyfriend, from office politics. I did everything right. And she just left, without even a conversation. I called her into my office to at least say goodbye properly. She was cold, arms crossed, wouldn't sit down, said she appreciated the opportunities, but wanted to move on. Move on? From what? So yeah, I lost my temper a little. I told her she was being ungrateful, that I'd invested more time in her than any other employee, that leaving without notice was unprofessional, and that I'd have to note that in her file. She just stared at me. Then she said, and I'll never forget this, I know what you've been doing. I asked what the hell that meant. She said, I know about the schedule changes. I know you've been watching me. I know about the posts. Then she walked out. I don't know what posts she's talking about. This is an anonymous account. There's no way she could know, right? I've been sitting here for 3 hours. I feel like I'm about to throw up. What do I do?
She knows about the post. 4 words. And in those 4 words, his entire constructed reality shatters. But watch what happens next. Watch what his brain does with this information. Because a normal person, confronted with undeniable evidence that they've behaved monstrously, would feel shame. Or the crushing weight of accountability. He doesn't. He feels fear. Not for her. Not for the damage he's caused. Fear for himself. His career. His reputation. What do I do? He asks. Not, how do I apologize? Not, how did I become this? How do I survive this? The mask hasn't just slipped. It's on the floor. And even now, staring at it, he doesn't recognize what was underneath.
This is probably my last post. I was terminated this morning, escorted out by security like a criminal. HR called it a pattern of inappropriate behavior and workplace harassment. They had a file, printed copies of every Reddit post, screenshots of my replies. Someone even found a photo I'd taken of Jennifer at the office holiday party that I'd posted in some thread as proof she was unhappy. I forgot I'd posted that. My wife saw the screenshots. She's staying at her sister's. 3 former colleagues have blocked me on LinkedIn. One sent a message first. We all knew something was wrong. We should have said something sooner. What does that even mean? What was wrong? I was looking out for someone. My industry isn't that big. Word travels. I've already heard that 2 companies I'd applied to pull my resume from consideration. Someone's talking. Jennifer released a statement through HR saying she's grateful for the company's swift action. She didn't name me, but everyone knows. I'm 43 years old, 2 decades in this industry, and now I'm radioactive because I cared too much. Some of you warned me this would happen. Congratulations. You were right, but I still don't think I did anything wrong. I was trying to help. Nobody seems to understand that. Maybe no one ever will.
I still don't think I did anything wrong. This is the final line of his public confession. 47 posts. 8 months. And after everything, the termination, the divorce, the industry exile, this is where he lands. I was trying to help. He never wanted to help her. He wanted to own her. To be the center of her universe. To be so essential that she could never leave. When she did leave, the fantasy collapsed. And with it, any pretense of concern. She was ungrateful. She betrayed me. I gave her everything. This is not the language of a mentor. This is the language of possession. Jennifer is safe now. She has a new job. A new start. A story she never asked to be part of. And him? He's exactly where he started. Alone with a story where he's the hero. Only now no one believes it but him. Some monsters don't live in the shadows. They build corner offices. They win Employee of the Year. They tell themselves they're the good guys while the evidence of their destruction piles up in their own words. He wrote his own conviction. And he'll never understand why. That's the true horror of the nice guy. He'll spend the rest of his life convinced the world was unfair. And that, right there, is justice. If this story made you rethink someone you know, or maybe recognize patterns you've seen before, hit subscribe. These aren't just Reddit stories. They're case studies in human behavior. New breakdowns every week. Until next time, stay aware, stay safe, and trust your instincts about the wolves who smile.